Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Hello everybody and welcome to Alpha Pro Series number 68. I will be your caster and admin for tonight, Phoenix Tears, and we have a great show match. It's going to be Starkiller versus Dolan, ZVT, in a best of 9. Sorry for the wait, but we're ready to go now. So let's get right into this. It's going to be very interesting. Two really good NA players, one from Storm, one from Alpha X, of course. The pizza master himself. Okay, let's do this. It's going to be Karos Junction, first map. Very, very interesting. I really thought Karos would be vetoed by one of them. Especially Dolan. Not sure this map is great for TVD, but maybe has something in special for it. And it is best of 9. You are probably going to land up playing all the maps. Okay, good luck. Have fun. Has been called. Let's do this. In the bottom right, representing Storm Gaming, it is Dolan. And the top left, representing Alpha X, he is Starkiller. Okay. Nothing crazy just yet. I don't see an SCV out of the... Oh, I'm wrong. Ignore me. There is an SCV out on the map. It is going to be a proxy from Dolan. Don't know what this is. It is quite far. So I doubt it's going to be 2 racks or 3 racks because it really is far away. It might just be him proxying all the buildings and trying to catch Starkiller off guard. 2 gases have gone down. Normally, if it is 3 racks, gases have not come down yet. So it is very much looking like him going to proxy basically all these buildings. Okay. Let's see what's okay. Starkiller's pool is a bit late. Yeah, it's a good time, like if you're going patch first, but he is facing something very aggressive. But it's not like it's the 2 racks, which is so close to the 3 racks. So I guess he doesn't have to have Lings out super early, so it's not the end of the world. He just does need to know this is happening. Hello Inky. Hello Sun Lily. Hello Zeno. Hello Coast. Welcome everybody. Okay, hatchery does finish. It is a reactor on the way. Could be for aliens, I would imagine. I think Starkiller must have spotted there's nothing in him. He hasn't got... Okay, he hasn't seen a CC, so that's a very big tail. Okay, that's okay. He doesn't want to give up the Overlord for it. Okay, it's going to be another factory. This is extremely interesting from Dolan. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Marine... I think he's... Oh, okay, Starkiller is going for a counterattack. This actually could be pretty huge. Well, I mean, to him it's more of an attack than a counterattack. If this Marine gets caught out, and there's nothing to block... Like Starkiller can go... Okay, he pulls all the SUs. This is really good from Dolan. If the SU go in and kill that Marine for free, it's going to be very bad for him. He's already taken a pretty big economic hit. So it's going to be reactor aliens out on the map. Is he going to switch? He's going to go into Tech Lab. It's another reactor. He's just going to go mass Hellions. Let's see. Very interested to see what Dolan does. There's no starport as of yet. I mean, you can't really support 5 production buildings on 1 base economy. There's a bit of a supply block. There's Hellions. I mean, this Ling is still being super annoying. I think the Marine must have died. No, he's still alive. Where's the Marine? Oh, he's hanging around. First few Hellions coming in, we start to roast some drones. Starkiller can lose a few. He is 3 bases right now. You can't lose too many, and it is starting to get a little bit too much. When you've got to pull drones to fight Hellions, that is never a good sign. Drone does get a kill on the Hellion on the top side, but it's roasting so many drones. 13 have gone down. This really did catch Starkiller off guard. It's not out of the game yet. It's not getting any damage just yet. This is the kind of damage that he needs to do. It's going to be... I mean, Starkiller's got to choose to either make drones or units here, and he needs both. He needs both badly. Starkiller's going to counterattack. Interesting. I mean, this is probably the worst thing he could possibly do if he can catch enough... But if he can catch enough units out of the map, and these Chileans don't get back, it's doable, because it's going to be Hellbat, so they're at least a little bit better against the roaches. Roaches and a couple of ravages aren't going to come in. He needs a cyclone. Okay, he's going to go for a tank. Actually, I think this is not enough here from Dolan. Yeah, GG's call. Starkiller just takes game number 1. I like the idea, but Starkiller was having none of it. Okay. A fast game 1. So Dolan did have something special planned for that. It didn't work out. Almost did. He did a lot of damage. I think if he could have held while taking his base, he could have... No, he didn't have to take a base. If he holds that and counterattacks, I think he just wins. Especially with the Hellbats and maybe the tank. Okay, new repugnancy will be map number 2. Okay. Interesting. I wonder if we're going to see... Reapers. It's not something that's very popular, but if Terran's going to do it, it's going to be a new repugnancy. I'll show you once we get in game. There's so many places you can jump into the natural, into the main for Reapers. Now Starkiller will just be right back 1 minute. Okay, while that's happening, I can see if I can get my second PC to start working, because then it can help with adminning and all that wonderful stuff. Yeah, it's been a bit of a rush to get things working, because everything was working until it wasn't. You know that moment of panic where absolutely everything is set up and then nothing is set up. It is scary. Right before you're supposed to go live, but we got everything sorted. That's all it's necessary. And now we can enjoy a fantastic series. Yeah, it's a very fast 1-0 for Starkiller. It's the kind of start you would have liked. He's a more aggressive player. I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting that. There was a lot of aggression from Terran. And it's again one of those things you don't really see. You don't see a lot of 1-base stuff unless it's really marine based, and that was not marine based at all. Okay, let's see if I can get Starkiller in here now. Oh, guys, now that I have a little bit of a break, please use those Matrina codes. There should be a link right on the top of chat. Go to that link that's given. Go to that Matrina page. Sign in with one of your accounts, clicking on the right top hand corner. Any of those accounts will do. And type into the chat Alpha Pro Series. Into the code Alpha Pro Series 68, and you'll donate a free $50 to tonight's prize pool. Please go and do that. Okay, we're still waiting for Starkiller. He was having a bit of lag issues. That happens. So how are you guys doing? Tell me how your day of StarCraft has gone so far. I know mine has gone pretty bad in terms of StarCraft, but very good otherwise. I've basically lost my voice before I'm supposed to cast a best of 9. That's what happens when you're a huge soccer fan and you watch a game right before you're supposed to cast. And where your team scores the last minute to win. And it definitely got me more hyped to cast some StarCraft. I really think that we might see, funnily enough, some Reapers here. I know it's not something you want to really do, but to start because it gets roaches quite early, but it's such a good map for it. I wouldn't be surprised if you see it in a best of 9, at least once. I also think that Starkiller might have something in store as well. I mean, if you can get a quick tour, that would be awesome for him. I'm sure that's exactly what he's looking for. Okay, Starkiller is joining lobby. Finally, let's get into game number 2. Let's do it. I really want Reapers. I think Reapers, I know it'll trigger a lot of Zerg players in the chat, but Reapers are so fun. They, don't get me wrong, they needed a nerf when they got nerfed, but they are incredibly fun. Okay. Good luck, have funds have been called. In the top right of New Repugnancy, representing Psystorm Gaming, he is Dolan. And the top left, taking game number 1 after taking some really bad drone damage. Playing for Team Alpha X, it is Starkiller. Okay, there's going to be gas before rack, so that could still point to Reapers. But normally when you go Reapers, you start your wall off on the low ground. So you get basically a free third natural. So this is most probably not going to be Reapers. Rip the dream. Starkiller has gone hatch first. Into pool. Well, let's see, he hasn't taken his pool yet, but I can imagine it's going to be a pool. But I've seen Starkiller do 3 hatch before pool builds many times. Okay, it's going to be gas. And then most probably pool. Yeah, there we go. Okay, nothing out of the ordinary. Dolan's going to scout. A little bit earlier than what most Terrans do. Most Terrans do send this SCV. But I can get why you send it. It's, even on a map like New Repugnancy, it is Starkiller. Starkiller is prone to do so many things. Okay, that's the next real flashpoint, I would say, is I mean, Starkiller could add a very quick roach run or go for a very quick lair, but normally it's what the Terran chooses to get off his factory. It's normally going to be Hellions, but I have seen mine drop openings, I have seen Cyclone openings. Okay, reactor, no surprises at all. Starkiller's Overlord peaks, sees the CC, he's very happy. Oh, it is a very early roach one. Okay, this is where the game gets interesting. Three hatch before pool is so spooky. Reaper comes in. I think it might get a drone here. Oh, good save from Starkiller, but still nice micro from Dolan. He forces the sword to be built. He forces the gas as well. Did he see the roach warren? No, but there is a distinct lack of drones in the natural. He is probably expecting something coming. Okay, so it's going to be a reactor. It's going to swap that onto the stop one, and it's going to be most probably Banshees. It could be a fake out for a Liberator and a Viking, but most probably Banshees. Especially what he's seen. He saw such a huge lack of drones. You definitely want to get a Banshee out as quickly as possible because you only have access to Hellions. And Starkiller's droning behind this. He just wants to do a little bit of counter damage, a little bit, maybe try and get the CC to lift, get a few SCVs and set him up really nicely for the mid game. Oh, Dolan's actually going to try and take a fast there. Oh no, it's just for it. Ignore me. First couple of ravages are going to come in. It's only 3 ravages and 4 lings. It's not that much. So Hellions actually can trade really well against Ravagers. If they were Roaches, this would be very difficult. Eventually the Hellions, especially if you get at like 6 to 8, this can start really frying them. But Dolan doesn't have that enough just yet. He's just got to buy time for these Banshees to come out. He probably will lose the supply depot and the reactor, which would be not ideal. But if he can clear this up in the next, I'd say 20 seconds, he's not in a terrible position. Tell me if there's any sound issues. That was a bit loud for me. But yeah, there it goes. The Banshee comes in. Both supply depots are down. Starkiller did force the lift of the CC. That's really nice. And I think he got a couple of Hellions. Yeah, 2 Hellions as well. So, and he's droned up super heavily behind us. He's going into a lair. He's probably going to take a 3rd base pretty soon. That was a really good start for Starkiller. He's going to switch out straight to tanks here, Dolan. Do not mind that whatsoever. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to take a fast 3rd C behind this, 3rd CC. Actually, I mean, if you look at what Starkiller is doing, he's still on 2 bases. If he had taken a 3rd and heavily, I mean, he's droned up both bases, but if he had started to drone up that, then you're like, okay, I'll take a fast 3rd C, try and make up for the damage I took in the early game. But Starkiller's really looking like he's going to be going for some push in a bit. Hellions come in, they're going to start frying drones. This is nice for Dolan to get back into it. This is very nice. He's actually killed 7 drones. Yeah, these Hellions shouldn't have done as much as they did. They've got a lot of value. 8 workers will put Dolan in a much better position than he was. I think it's almost equal, to be completely fair. Yes, Starkiller is going to have access to a larger army, but Dolan is making tanks, and tanks are the best answer to Roaches. And the Banshees are even going to catch these Roaches. This is a really good start. Hyperflight Roaches as well is also on the way, so Dolan's going to have a huge commitment to Banshees. But Starkiller does sense this. I mean, it probably he either could be sensing it or it could just be what his plan was, to stay on 2 bases and go for a quick spire. I mean, a quick spire is really good against like speed Banshees, but it's not a game winner. Let's see, Starkiller is posturing this drone to go. Oh, he's taking a basic. It's basically a secret base. This would probably be where his 4th base would go, but it's not often that, as a Terran player, you check that base until maybe it's too late. Where it's up and running and ready to go. But Dolan's actually going to make a move on it. I actually don't mind. The Starkiller hasn't made units for a while. The issue is he is going to have access to meters, and there's nothing from Dolan that will deal with the meters. But Dolan could manage to do some game-ending damage before the meters actually clean up. CC is done. Oh, he's even putting some workers. Interesting. If he can get a couple turrets up, that actually might just be a game-winning move. I think Dolan's actually going to switch into Ferrari mech. Because he's... Oh, no, he switched to the stop. Okay, I'll talk about it afterwards. Yeah, the attacker is going to come in. Starkiller is forced to make a couple lings. Okay, they do have speed. It's not the end of the world. They should get a nice wraparound on these tanks. But the SCVs here can tank a little bit and repair these batteries and tanks. And, lings are going to come in, but the mutas are out. If these things can deal with the Marines, eventually these mutas will win this fight out. Queens are taking damage though. SCVs are going to go down. There's still 2 tanks. And that should be a clean up for Starkiller. It's taking no economic damage. But these Banshees should be able to get out. Did he cancel? Yeah, Dolan cancelled Hyperflight Rotas. I think maybe he was trying to sell it as cloak, and then when he saw... No, he did get cloak. That was a very interesting decision. Because it's not even when he saw the mutas, he switched off the reactor before. But to be honest, that's not the end of the world for Dolan. There's a lot of units he can potentially throw away. Obviously, you don't want to throw tanks away, but it is going to be a muta style, muta link bane. So, he's got exactly what he needs to get a couple Thors out and Vikings to deal with these units. But I mean, this is really good for Starkiller because it's delaying the 3rd base for Dolan. He can't place it until he feels like he has enough. And this Thor's going to get caught out, and the next 2 are not coming out anytime soon. It has to be a huge repair. I don't think it will be in time. Does get the repair on the Thor, but it means some SCVs will go down. Oh, that was a clutch repair. That Thor could have gone down for free. These things are going to try and be annoying in the front. There's actually nothing but the Thors to really deal with them. So hopefully, Starkiller's obviously hoping these Thors get pulled from the main. But Dolan is not that, is not going to let that happen. And at the same time, Starkiller is just droning super hard. He's getting +1 range and carapace. So I think he's not going to commit to meters. He's going to go for a huge roach attack. And maybe switch to Hydras at some point. But 100% not going to be making any more meters than this for now. Meters are going to come in and try to deny this base. Oh, they're going to catch a lot of these SCVs. The Thor does ward them off. Dolan can't really afford to take much more economic damage. He's already in a rough position as it is. His third base has been delayed so long. Any more SCV damage or base damage is really not good for him. His Lings are going to be able to get a couple SCVs while they fight against. Oh, and he does live. But Dolan will be able to finally set this base up. Starkiller is now on 4 bases. He's joined up to 70 and he's just going to be clicking the R key from now on. He's just going to be able to try and flood as many roaches and try and catch Dolan off guard. I mean, Dolan is not making tanks until now, and tanks are the key to this. If you have enough roaches, the Thors don't matter. If you can bile down the tanks, make a couple of ravages and bile down the tanks, or get on top of the tanks before there's enough to siege, this could be a game-ending move from Starkiller. He's not even going to wait for a max out. He's probably going to wait for 1-1 to finish, and then he's going to try and go for this. And I think it could be a wicked timing. A lot of ravages being morphed in. Starkiller is going to go for the third, but he surely needs to wait for this +1/+1. That'll make such a huge difference. And these mules can help out as well, especially if the Thors go down. There's a Hellion run by on the top side. There's 2 queens, but that shouldn't be enough, especially with Blue Flame being finished. These roaches though will shut it down. It's really nice to shut down. And now the roach and ravages from Starkiller are going to come in. There's 1 tank in the front, 2 on the side, in the middle, and 1 on the top side. The Thors are doing some damage, but again, as I said, they're not that great against roaches. How are they doing it though? No, the supply is dipping from Dolan. I just don't think there's enough. He's landing back. There's only 1 tank left. The mules can come in once the Thor's down as well. There's even roaches in the main base. All the Thors have gone down, and Starkiller takes game number 2. Yeah, that just went really bad for Dolan most of the time. Like, he did some nice counter damage with the Hellions, but he was always playing a catch-up game, and Starkiller just pressed the R key very quickly when he felt like he had done enough with those meters, and he was able to overwhelm Dolan. And Cyber Forest will be next map. It's definitely not the start Dolan would have wanted. But as I said, it's not like a best of 5 or a best of 3. It is a best of 9. He has a lot of time to come back. But yeah, he definitely doesn't want to go 3-0 down here. Let's hopefully that we get into this game quicker than the last couple. It's much better, especially for a best of 9 series, to keep the momentum going for all concerned. Good luck is called. I'm expecting Dolan to do something similar in game 1. But I think his biggest... He didn't obviously see the Ravagers coming in time. I think his biggest issue was the fact he just didn't scout with that Reaper enough. Like, I know a lot of Terrans, including myself, want to keep that Reaper alive as long as possible, but it might have been worth just sacrificing it to get the scouting information. Because if he got that scouting information, he would have been able to do a little bit more poke damage out of the map and delay the Ravagers a little bit with the Hellions, while pulling the SCVs away from the Ravagers and able to get a proper defense so the target doesn't get that free damage like he did. Okay. Enough talking, let's get into introductions. In the bottom right, representing Psystorm Gaming, it is Dolan. In the top left, already got us to a fantastic start in this series. Can he take another one and get closer to the victory? Representing Alpha X, it is Starkiller. Okay, it looks like Dolan. Okay, he's a little bit indecisive of what he's doing. It looked like he was going double gas, but obviously with that cancel, it's definitely not going to be double gas. So I'm interested to see. I think this SUV is just going to scout, but it might have been for some kind of proxy. I might, if the gas is finished, he might have obviously gone into scout and then built a starport here maybe. But Dolan is a bit indecisive, and he realizes that it's not the pattern he wants to go for. So it will be Reaper fast expand. So he's going to come in. He's going to see that it's hatch first. You're always a bit like freaked out with starkiller because he does the extractor trick. So the hatchery and pull timings don't really line up. But because, I mean, Dolan must have played against starkiller enough times to know that he does the extractor trick. Still no gas. This might be a very early third base from starkiller. Only 2 lings. He's just constantly drawing up, making queens. Okay, he's going to take 2 gases at the same time. Dolan is going to have to send his SUV home at some point if he doesn't want to lose it. Reaper is going to be able to meet up with the SUV, so they could help with the lings, but I think it's better just to send him home. Now this Reaper needs to find out what starkiller is doing, because starkiller has just gone double gas, and he's just droning up. And Dolan needs to know that it's not roaches. Starkiller is mining 6 with 6 workers. I think it might be some kind of nice play. I'm feeling it. Starkiller is getting a lot of gas very early and a lot of queens. And he still hasn't started speed. I think he's going to start a layer as soon as this queen is finished and the roach one. The roach one is already on the way. Okay, let's see. Layer? Possibly? Yeah, there it is. So this is most probably almost definitely going to be Nihilus. I've been wrong before, but I'm pretty sure this time. This Reaper could come in and get a huge scout if they're able to get past the queens. Okay, the queens will shut it down. That's a huge shutdown from starkiller. Now his next warrior needs to be the Hellions, but that was really, really good. Still droning up starkiller. He might just be doing it to get early roach speed out. Okay, I really like this from Dolan. Scan in the main, he's going to see the lay, he's going to see the double gas. He's got to start thinking this is going to be Nihilus. And I really like him sending out the Hellions, really. Zerg don't make a lot of units for a long time when they're going for a Nihilus. And he's got a tank and Marines and Banshees out in the way. Okay, interesting. Okay, it's going to be early road speed. So it's not going to, okay, it is going to be Nihilus. He just faked it. Huge starkiller plays, yeah. He just faked it for Dolan's purposes. That's a really huge, big brain play here. There's a lot of queens already out. There's 7 roaches out in the way. Starkiller is putting it all on the line with the Nihilus here. And if this Overlord if it was here, I think it would be game over already. But it might loop out. I think if the Nihilus gets up, Dolan's in a very bad position. Okay, he's moving the Marines out now, and he might be able to shut down a Nihilus once it comes in. Okay, starkiller sees this Marine there. Oh, let me switch on. Okay, tanks have siege up. This Nihilus should not go down. The starkiller is going to probably try and put one in the natural. There we go. Natural's going to start going up. So Dolan needs to start moving very quickly. I don't know if you're able to shut this Nihilus swim down. I think he's got to evacuate this natural. Hellions are being locked out at this point. Yeah, the queens are going to start coming out. There is an overseer for these close banshees. All Dolan needs to do is hold this. There's one tank set up, and the other tank is not set up yet. A lot of units are going down, but this tank is just not in range. This has been such a good hold so far for Dolan. There is a Nihilus coming up in the front. The first tank is going to get on top of it, but a lot of these units are being weeded out. I think Dolan might have what it takes to hold it. He just needs to hold. He has lost a lot of SCVs, and it's not enough to put him out the game. But the roaches and queens are now on top of the tank. This Banshee's so low. The tank has gone down. He can even put a Nice in the main as well. The second tank is just saving his life, but I think starkiller is not done yet. He's actually going to drone up behind us. Okay, so no more roaches. So Dolan has held. He's done what he needed to do. He didn't lose a crazy amount of workers, so he's not out of this game. 15 does seem a lot, but Starkiller was only on 28. And if you're on 2 bases as Terran, and your Zerg opponent is also on 2 bases, it's not the end of the world. You have meals. You can make this work, but he does need to get this natural mining. He needs to stop dropping some mules. He needs to start getting this economy going. Starkiller is just meckering his heart out at home. Science is going to go down eventually. And now, I mean, the Knight is down. I think it did enough damage for Starkiller to be happy and stay in the game. I do think that for sure. But it's given him a way to completely pull Dolan apart at any point in this game. Okay? And this Knight is so strong. And he could just fly an Overlord in here and put a Knight in the corner. And you have to just load 4 roaches, and they're still going to get a lot of what's the word? What can I think of? A lot of efficiency, because you can just load in the Nidus so quickly, you won't even lose those roaches, and you only really lose it 50-50. There's no... Yeah, he does now. Okay, so Starkiller is going for double upgrades. He's just droning up. Oh, he's actually just droning up. Starkiller hasn't made a roach in a very long time. He's got no units. He's got 8 army supply. I think actually Starkiller might just lose this game here. Tanks are going to move across. He's just not making units. Hydrogen on the way. 9 drones. Oh, this is very bad for Starkiller. He doesn't have the lava. He just spent it all on drones. He's going to definitely give up this 3rd base. There's no way he defends this 3rd base. Flying Crawler is going to go down. These tanks can move up into a very abusive position. There's no way they're just getting to a position to defend this 3rd base. The Starkiller is going to have to give this up. This is really good for Dolan. Because even though Starkiller is 58 workers, he cannot mine efficiently with that amount. And Dolan is taking a 3rd base of his own at home. He's getting SCVs. He's starting his production. And if he's on 3 bases and Starkiller is on 2 bases, that's very good for Dolan. I wouldn't be surprised if Starkiller just choked there. But now he doesn't have to still hold here. There's actually just not enough units. Even though 1-1 is finished, Starkiller just doesn't have the lava. He didn't have the queens that he lost them in the Midas. He's going to lose all his production. The Hydrogen's going to go down. The Roach Warren is going to go down. Starkiller is just going to pull all the workers with his small army and hopefully get something going. If his natural goes down, it's 1 base Zerg against 3 base Terran. The Ravens are going to start coming in, they're going to get tanked down very quickly. Hatchery is under fire. There's also nothing really to kill these banshees because these tanks just ward off the queens. Natural is going to go down. I think this is it for Starkiller. He just doesn't have enough. Natural is going to go down. There's no saving it. It's 1 base Zerg. I think Starkiller is going to try and knight his base trade here. Like, it's his only real proper move. And even that, there's like a 1% chance that he ever working. This is a very dire position for Starkiller. I don't think he can come back from this. He's going to try and pull all the workers. All the hydras and roaches have gone down. It's just queens and links. GG's called. Dolan takes game number 3 and gets on the board in the series. Whew. That was a very good game from Dolan. I thought Starkiller had it, but he just got too confident. He didn't make any units. If he had made any units, he would have been able to hold that with lings and roaches and some queens, but it just wasn't enough. So before we get into the next game, I do need to tell you, wonderful viewers. So I was thinking of how to do this because unfortunately we don't get Baba Burger in South Africa, but I've heard some incredible things about it about Baba Burger from the American members from Alpha X. They did tell me a couple things that I should be saying about them. So apparently, I've heard a lot that it's incredibly good, the burgers. And Bubba Burger is one of the sponsors that helped make Alpha Pro Series possible. And it is the #1 branded frozen burger in the United States. You must try all 8 of their burger varieties as well as other great new additions. I really hope I can move to, or when I come and live in America, that is my plan at some point. I get to actually taste Bubba Burger, because I have not, I've heard some incredibly good things about them. Okay. Year 0 is going to be the next map. Okay, this is a map you're not going to see a lot of in like WCS or anything like that, because it's a big map and a lot of the pros prefer the other maps, but this is one of my favorite maps in the map pool. It looks really good, and I am at my core a macro player, so this is one of my better maps for sure. But Dolan does get one back in the series. It's really important to stop the momentum there. Let's see how the next one's going to go. I do think this is a better map for Terra, no doubt. It is a bigger map. There are places where you can do drops. It's easier to set up your bases. But if you're going against like a Zerg like Starkiller, if it was more like if you're going against like Cyril or one of the more macro-centric Zergs, it's probably a better map for Zerg. But with the way Starkiller plays, I think Dolan would prefer to be playing this map, even though this is Starkiller's choice. Okay. I actually have no idea where this is going to go. Send me your predictions in chat. Help me with a prediction, because I honestly don't know which way to call this. Okay. In the top right, representing Psystorm Gaming, taking the last game by defending that nice and then killing Starkiller with the counterattack. He is Dolan. And then in the top right, representing Alpha X, can he keep get the momentum back in the series? It is Starkiller. Okay. So it is going to be buildings at home from Dolan. Nothing of shenanigans yet. It's not going to be Reapers on this map, because it's literally the only place you can get up into the base of... Wait, can you get up here? No, I'm pretty sure you can't. I've been playing a lot of TUZ lately, and I've never been able to send my Reaper up here. But now there's a caster, then I'm looking at it, I'm like, maybe? Oh no, I'm pretty sure you can't. It's going to be gas from Dolan as well. It's not going to be some funny stuff like CC first, or just gasless into Rax into CC. Starkiller at the same time, or did go hatch first, now he's going into gas and pool, so nothing out of the ordinary from both players. SCB is going to head across the map, see what scouting information can get done. I definitely prefer this map for Dolan. I think this would definitely, he'd prefer this, especially if he's going to stick to the macro. One thing a lot of people don't talk about, to be fair, and no one really should be, because it's not very often the Starkiller gets to the late game, but he's actually got pretty good control with these late game units, the Vipers and the Infestors. So it's not like he has to end the game, it's what makes him so scary, Starkiller. Like if he does enough damage in the mid game and just starts macroing up 70 drones and getting a late game army, then he could definitely win a game like that as well. But so far it's standard 2 queens from Starkiller. He is only mining 1 gas this time. Starkiller does see everything. It is going to be a factory strapped onto the reactor, so it is going to be Hellions. Second gas on the way. Reaper does come in. It should get out. Don't believe you got a drone. No Ling yet either, but he's going to still be able to be annoying Dolan and make sure that the SCVs, the drone does not get out easy to take a third base. Okay, so Starkiller is defending this, so obviously the Reaper can get up. So I'm a terrible Terran player and I should be ashamed of myself. It was 2 Marines. Oh, okay, it's not Hellions at all. It's going to be straight into tanks. So Dolan might be doing some kind of 2-base play, like similar to what he did at last game. Obviously he was a little bit more forced into doing it last game. It is going to be... This is a Hellions... Marines, tanks, and Banshees. This is something I've seen very often in TVP of late. Not a lot of it in TVZ, so let's see how it works out for Dolan. He doesn't have the gas yet to get a tank. Starkiller is going for a lair again. I don't believe this should be nice this time. There is no Roach one, so I imagine this is going to be Spire. And this definitely suits the map. This is a good map for Mutiling Bane. There we go, Spire is taken, Reaper is down. I mean, the build that Dolan's going for does allow him to get Thors out quite early, as long as he gets an armory at some point, which I don't see it yet. I'm surprised that maybe he'll add an eBay armory and eBay later so he can deal with the mutas. But when you see Starkiller being on 2 bases for so long, especially on a map where mutas are quite good, you just start thinking mutas. But the Spy is still quite a long way away. He does have time to get an eBay out and an armory just to get some Thors, but not much time to be fair. It's going to be a fast third CC from Dolan. He's going to move out now. The problem is, once Muta's out, this gets shut down so hard. Like if you take maybe 2 or 3 SCVs with, and you manage to get your tanks in range of a base, and you get some turrets up, then it's different. Oh, thing's going to get in. Oh, this is the worst possible thing that could happen to Dolan. He needs to get as many units out to deal with the mutas, which he doesn't even know are coming, but he's going to lose so many SCVs here. And this tank push really has to kind of do reciprocating damage, and 9 mutas are on the way. There's a muta for every Marine at this point. Lings are cleaned up at home though. There's still just nothing to deal with these mutas. He is starting to get a Cyclone and a Viking, which is definitely the best thing he can get. Now with the mutas out and the Lings, they're just going to munch those Marines down, and the tank is not going to do anything. That's a really good hold from Starkiller. And now there's not much really at home from Dolan to deal with this. He does have an eBay, but he hasn't started turrets yet. Oh no. And, I mean, to be fair, all Starkiller needs to do is, as Jordan at home, he's going to be in a fantastic position, even if he doesn't do considerable damage. Nings are not going to be able to come in yet. Now this actually might be enough to deal with these mutas. These Marines though, still no collar shield, no stim. They are going to be able to get on top of it, but the turret does finish. Cyclone goes down, so they will be able to force these mutas away. That could have been disastrous for Dolan if that turret did not go up. These mutas can go into the main and just get free damage onto the production though. Yeah, I actually do not mind that GG. This is becoming very difficult for Dolan to win. Starkiller takes a 3-1 lead. I just didn't see the mutas coming. That really caught him off guard, because that build is quite, what he was going for is quite strong against like roaches, which Starkiller does like to do. But it wasn't roaches, it was mutas, and that just shut it down quickly, and he just didn't have enough at home. Like, he had turrets in the mineral lines, but there's just absolutely no way Dolan ever shuts down those mutas from killing his production. And Starkiller was just droning and making units at home, and he would have just overwhelmed him. Okay, it's going to be King's Cove, our 5th map of the series. 5th map? Yeah, it is 5th map. This is not my strong suit. Let's get Dolan and Starkiller in here. Yeah, it was very well done from Starkiller. He's gonna, even though like it's one of his best and most like Starkiller builds, his mulas. He sells it because he goes for such different builds every time. 2 base stuff. You actually never sure what he's gonna go for. Good lord. After this, I'm gonna get the biggest cup of tea. My voice is struggling. Our neighbours must hate us. I shan't when Liverpool score the best times, when it's that late on in such an important game. Yeah, poor neighbours. But enough about that. In the bottom right, representing Storm Gaming, he needs to keep an eye on what Starkiller is doing at all times, as tough as it is. Representing Storm Gaming, it is Dolan. In the top left, representing Alpha X, 2 games away from taking this Pro Series, Alpha Pro Series number 68. It is Starkiller. Okay, it's going to be pool first, and Starkiller is mixing up a little bit. It is one of those maps where it is obviously a bit bigger, but you can, if you loop your lings around, they can get it to a time where especially if the Zerg player has not gone Reaper Marine, you can get the lings around before the CC is finished, and you can deny the CC, at least until the Reaper comes home. Starkiller is going to take a hatchery behind us. He's not going to take a second guess and go full on in the Ravagers. Dolan is going to scout. I mean, as soon as you scout, as early as Dolan, it's one of those things where you just either leave the Reaper at home or you do go for a fast Marine, and you should be okay against the links that Starkiller is going to send across the map. It's not the end of the world if Starkiller doesn't do damage with it, of course. He's going to drone out behind this. He's still going to have access to the 6 lings to help with the Reaper. The first 4 lings aren't going to head across the map. Let's see if he makes another one. Normally, obviously, you make 6 with this because... oh, interesting. Okay, he's pulled off gas completely. This could be just a straight-up link flood. Not something I'm a huge fan of, especially when the arrow's on this side, because it's much easier to get a warn off. But if the arrows are on the other side, just like if Terran spawns up here, then those links start to get on the supply deeps and the add-on, and you can get in very quickly before this Terran has any units. So let's see what Starkiller does, because this is a very fast speed. The speed's going to be done very soon. I mean, this Reaper can't even stay out on the map because it will be caught by these links. Drones on the production tab for Starkiller though. Okay, he's just going to do a little bit of damage. How many links does he have on the map? He has only 7, it's not that many. He's just going to see if he can catch the Reaper out, which he probably will. And see if he can force a lift off. I think it would have to be a lift off because there's only Marines out. The Speedlings are going to come in. Yeah, you have to evacuate. Oh, the Marines get caught out. This is really not good for God. He needs these Marines. This is going to be able to hold the CC. Is going to take much longer without those Marines. He's not opening Hellions like most Terrans do, which really shut this down. And again, Starkiller is not all in off the back of it. He's just making drones. And he's going to take a 3rd base as well. He knows how much indirect damage it's going to do. And he's going to take these Marines as well. And Dolan's not going to be able to take a base until this tank comes out. Unless he pulls workers. I mean, Starkiller doesn't want to end the game with this. He just wants to do damage, and it's racking up. Every second that Starkiller is joining up, and Dolan is not mining from this base and making SCVs is a huge moment for Starkiller. Did he cancel the tank? Where's the tank? But the tank has to go all around me. Oh, interesting. He's not even going to try and clear them out of the low ground. You can. I think obviously Dolan is scared of a massive big flood at the back of this. The only problem is not opening Hellions. But obviously we know more than what Dolan knows. If he knew what we know, he'd just go to the road and just get with it. But he does manage to get the SCVs mining. Finally, he can start muling the base. There is a Banshee out. And there are going to be a couple Hellions. I think at this point, Starkiller, all he really needs to do to stay ahead in this game is make sure he doesn't do what he did in the one game he lost, where he just made so many drones he just didn't make nearly enough units. And Dolan did a sneaky attack with tanks and overwhelmed him. Third CC, fast third CC from Dolan. I really like this. It's definitely a Terran go-to move if you take an early game damage. Because you know your Zerg opponents either made a whole lot of units, or most probably is droned up, so you've got to try and make up for that deficit of not mining for so long and making SCVs. I mean, if obviously the Zerg is making just straight up roaches, you probably just die, but it's almost a chance you have to take to get back into it. Hellions are going to come in. There's absolutely nothing here from Starkiller. 5 workers have gone down so far. 7 now. This is really good damage for Dolan. 9 go down. Couple more, 11 in the end. I think honestly, especially in this matchup, this could be Starkiller's biggest weakness, is that he gets himself into a position where he's so far ahead in economy, but he just doesn't make enough units, or he just never in the position to defend. Like, you know, your Terran opponent is making Hellions. Oh. You know your Terran opponent is making Hellions. All you're going to do is not take 13 worker damage and you'll be in a fantastic position. But now, I think Dolan has done it enough to put himself almost equal. He's still behind. He's still going to have to make some moves. But he does have a third base that's about to finish. Orbital that's even about to finish. He's getting his battle mech going. It's not going to be the Banshee variety though. And this army can get scary really quickly once you get enough Cyclones and enough Hellions. Starkiller is going into Spires, is going to be mutilating Bane again, getting double evolution chambers. It could be a huge switch into roaches, but I can imagine this is going to be mutilating Bane. Third CC is going to go down from Dolan. Obviously, mutas are pretty bad against this kind of mech if you get enough Cyclones out. Because the Hellbat's tank for the Lings and the Banes, if you get obviously enough of those out. And the Cyclones with, oh god. I know this upgrade. Oh, I'm such a Popega. The Cyclone upgrade. I know it. This is the build I go for to use most of the time. My brain is failing me. But if you once you get this upgrade and you have enough Cyclones, mutas melt. It's going to be Hydra follow-up. Okay, so it's not going to be Hydraling Bane. I mean, Mutiling Bane is going to be Hydras. He could be Hydraling Bane, but he's definitely going to make a couple mutas. He's just made 10. So Starkiller is probably going to make 10 mutas, no more than that. Try and pull his Terran opponent apart. There's no eBay out yet, so there won't be turrets. Get some damage done while just making probably mass Hydraling Bane. Hydraling could also work, especially against this comp. Yeah, you go Hydraling and you go into other infestors, or you go into Vipers. I think infestors are better. Fungal's such a good spell against this battle mech style. But if these mutas fly straight into these Cyclones, like surprisingly, they'll probably shred them. There's 10 mutas. I'm not really sure what happens with this interaction. Okay, Starkiller's just going to go straight. Okay, with the amount of Cyclones now, he cannot fight this. He needs to get out of there. Those extra 3 Cyclones are huge. 2 mutas are going to go down. 3 mutas, 4 mutas. 5 mutas go down. That was perfect from Dolan. If Starkiller had gone around and gone into a mineral line, Dolan probably needs about 6 to 8 HCVs. Instead, it's not going to be in position to defend this, but still, not going to lose nearly enough SCVs. And this is Battle Mech / half of Ferrari Mech. And the reason it got that name Ferrari Mech is because it's way quicker than its other mech variant. These units can start covering bases much quicker against mutas. So Dolan, much better position. He's in any game he's been in, even the game with the Knights, I feel like he was pretty far behind. He just Starkiller just overdrawn. This poor CC. He just wanted to pull the CC and these Hellions were having none of it. I mean, that could be like a game altering move. It seems silly, But you do need to get a 4th base going sometime soon if you're Dolan. And it's not being built yet. Starkiller, well, he's just getting Hydra speed, he's getting +2/+2, he's getting road speed, so it's going to be Roach Hydra. Not a huge fan of Roach Hydra against this, but I think with the Infestors it could work because you make the Roaches into Ravagers. Oh, quite a few Liberators on. Okay, this actually could be a wicked timing from Dolan. Starkiller is on 81 workers. You do tend to err on the side of 80 when you're going against Dolan. There's no blue flame yet. Okay, Starkiller's going to try and get a wraparound of these wings, but I mean they're going to get melted. It's not really those the huge damage dealers. The thing is, if this army from Dolan can just keep out microing Starkiller off creep, you have to have Vipers or Infestors to abduct them in. Or fungal them. So there is going to be a couple Vipers out on the way though. The only problem with Dolan's army, there's no blue flame with these heavies. So if there's a huge ling wraparound, it'll be enough for these Hydras to get on top of them. I think this base will go down. Oh yeah, base does go down. Really nice pick off for Dolan, but he needs to be careful. Starkiller is going to try and chase him. He can't chase too far. The Cyclone count is thinning actually, and now the Cyclone does go down. Dolan does have quite a few units at home, but if Starkiller gets on top of a base, and there's no 4th base on the way yet, this is a huge mistake from Dolan. He hasn't realised the 4th base never got built. Just, I mean, Starkiller could just wait out here and mitigate the huge strength of Battle Mech. Because Battle Mech can micro back, but I mean, you can't micro back into a base. This is not impossible. Starkiller is going to try and come in. He is taking a lot of damage, but Starkiller do come down. Liberators are abducted into the Hydras, but Starkiller is taking a lot of damage. A huge blinding cloud though forces a lot of those units into Starkiller's range. He's getting on top of the tanks. The SCVs are being pulled, and a Grace Fire is going on behind us. Any SCV damage Starkiller damage is good. As long as he doesn't just give his army away for free, more SCVs are going to go down. I think Dolan will be able to clear this up, but it is at what cost? Because Starkiller is just getting a Grace Fire, is going to be able to take a 5th base. There's no 4th base on the way for Dolan. That was a huge mistake from him. He loses his 3rd base. He's down to 2 bases. Oh, this is rough for Dolan. I really think he had everything what it took. If he was managed to set up that 4th base, yeah, and you get a planetary going, which would have been very possible, then you could definitely use that as a platform to defend that. And Blue Flame would have been really important against that high Hydra count. I think he had what it took. I really do think Dolan's just in a really tough position. Like, he's got all these production facilities, but he can't do anything with them. He's mining, even with mules, he won't even hit 2,000. This is extremely bad for Dolan, and it's going to be Brood Laws out on the way, which Ferrari mech, or Battle mech, as I should say, it does do quite well against, but only if there's a high Cyclone count, and there's not a high Cyclone count whatsoever. Dolan does scout for a 3rd base. I mean, for this base again. I mean, yeah, Starkiller he's got enough abducts on these Vipers to make a difference. Here's going to come in. Stormer, Blue Flame. Blue Flame just started now. These Hellions and Cyclones are able to run away and also do some damage. But with the Vipers, they've got to be extremely careful. And any trades Starkiller takes is really good for him. He's going to be able to abduct a couple Cyclones in here as well. The Broodlords, even with the flank, they're going to get a couple Cyclones. I don't think Dolan has what it takes to hold us. It's 111 army, it's like 65, and Starkiller's army is just so much more high-tech. There's no 4th base set up just yet. The 3rd base is able to get back up. It can be turned into a planetary, but it just won't be enough, I don't think, especially with the Broodlords. There's nothing to ward off these Broodlords. There's 3 Vikings out coming out at a time, but this Corruptors and Hydras already out in the field. All these Hellions and Cyclones are so low. It's just these Liberators really that are holding this together, and there's just enough Hydras. And he can Starkiller can also abduct these Liberators anywhere he wants, to be fair. The Viper's going to come in. They're going to put a huge parasitic bomb on the air units. The Hydras are marching through. There's nothing left. The Broodals are just doing so much damage. There's only 2 Vikings left, and they're both very low. 1 Liberator. Corruptors, are going to come in and snipe the last Liberator and the last Viking. GG scores. Starkiller gets himself onto match point. Very well played from Starkiller. Couple mistakes though from Dolan, but Starkiller definitely made the most of the build he went for. But I think if that fourth base got set up from Dolan and he got a planetary going there, that actually would have been a proper position to hold. Yeah, now there's no room for error for Dolan. He has to win every single game here to take this. It is not looking good for him, but it is not over. It is not over. I've seen some massive comebacks, and Dolan is capable of it. That Starkiller has got to be feeling comfortable and confident he can close this out. Okay, let's get the players into the lobby. It will be Automaton. Possible last map of the night. I'm really hoping not. I hope Dolan can come back. As much as I know all you Alpha Xians are shouting for Starkiller, I would love to see a fantastic series go all the way here. As I said, Dolan's capable of making this comeback. All you Terran brothers, all you Storm fans, you're going to have to give Dolan your energy. He needs it. And if you're still shouting for Starkiller, don't forget to give him your energy as well. I'm pretty sure Lord Terran's, wherever he is, as much as he loves Terran, is giving all his energy to Starkiller. Okay. Go, good luck is called. I'm feeling a Dolan comeback. Not an all the way 5-4 comeback, but I mean he's going to make a very close game of this. Maybe he does it. I believe. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, I'm pretty sure you want to be seeing more games. Let's do this. In the top left, bottom left of Automaton, representing Storm Gaming. No room for him now. It is Dolan. On the top right, spawning into a pretty good Nidus map. One game away, representing Alpha X. It is Starkiller. Okay, it's going to be gas first from Dolan. Nothing he hasn't done. That's actually... No, I was going to say it's actually early gas, but it's actually perfect. Ignore me. Drones for Starkiller. No pool first, so it's not like he's going to be... am I allowed to call you guys alpacas? I'm not sure. You guys tell me what I should call you. I've always called you Alpha Xians. I was considering wearing Terran Lord's, / Lord of Terran's, whatever you want to call him, his shirts for the cast and putting the camera on. But I realized, one, the shirt's going to be too small for me, and two, I might have been doing a couple things during the concert that would have distracted people with the camera. Next time. Enough of the chit chat, let's talk about the game. It is Reaper. Fast expand from Dolan. Nothing out of the ordinary from Starkiller. Was hatch first into pool. I'm always like, when I say it, I'm like, is it hatch for pool? And I'm always like, is it? Because with Starkiller, obviously it doesn't extract into triggers, I mentioned earlier, but it was hatch for pool. Okay, it's going to be factory with a tech lab again. I've been calling Hellions almost every time, but then I've been wrong. It has been Marines and tanks, but I feel, especially on a map like Automaton, and with what Starkiller has been able to do in the first couple games, with things you do want to get Hellions out. Because as much as obviously the Marines and the tank build up to a two-base push, I think against Starkiller, it only works if he goes for a specific build. Head-ins are the way to go because it gives you map vision, map presence. It gives you a chance to get into drone lines and roast them, and it also allows you to do some bow back pressure if you want to do something like that, and it gives you an easy transition into mech or bio either way. So I mean that's why a lot of Terrans have stuck to head-ins for as long as I can remember. Obviously a lot of Terrans are going to be thinking, okay, what about Nidus of late, which could be from Starkiller. Yeah, this Reaper, oh, he's going to get in and see the lair. That's huge. I like this from Dolan. This Reaper might not even get out, but it's 100% worth it. He sees the lair. He's got to start preparing for a night, even though you're not sure it's going to come. And I actually don't think it's going to be a knife. I think it is going to be just Spire because of the double gas test from Starkiller. But you have to start thinking about it. This Overlord is going to go down, but it is going to scout everything. Before it sees, there's no research in the tech lab, so there's no code to worry about. For now, there is going to be heading across the map. Okay, this actually could be a game-ending move from Dolan. There's absolutely nothing here from Starkiller. And the Spire is going to be scouted. A lot of drones are going to go down. 6 have gone down. 8 have gone down. 10 have gone down. All these drones are going down. There's just no units out yet. There was no lava even to make links. And so much value of these headings. This is why you open headings. Yeah, that was close to game-ending damage. I think it was pretty close to game-ending damage. The Sturg is already taking quite a huge economic hit by going for 2 base play. Very fast lair. So losing 14 workers is debilitating. These things could get some counter damage done. Nah, actually 2 headings should be enough. This is looking much better for Dolan. 3rd base is on the way from Starkiller. I don't think he even makes mutas with this. He's going to make 2 now. I mean, he's going to eventually make some mutas, but you've got to recoup on the economy right now. You've got to make somehow going to make a comeback in that regard. And I mean, because Dolan even scouted the Spire, he knows to get a Thor. I don't think he needs any more than that though for now. I'm very curious to see what Starkiller actually goes for. This Liberator is going to come in and try to be annoying. Can actually fight these muta. Okay, I think it could fight 1 muta. I'm interested to see who would win that battle with the Liberator with this damage. But with Queen help and now with the 2nd muta coming in, this Liberator will eventually be shut down. Okay, another 8 mutas for Starkiller. It looks like it is going to be battle mech again from Dolan, as long as he starts his 4th base. Oh my good lord. I butchered that. 4th base. 4th base. Okay, I got it. I had a very severe lisp when I was younger. So it does sometimes come out. Especially when I'm trying to talk fast. The mutas are going to fly into the main base. Thor's quite out of position though. I don't see the Thor. Where's the Thor boy? Okay, the Thor is here. Never mind. He's not that far out of position. This is like, even this turret should buy enough time for this Thor to do its damage. A couple SCVs to go down. 3 SCVs. Nice damage from Starkiller. He has droned up pretty hard behind this. I'm actually a bit worried for him. Because there's a lot of units out for Dolan right now. But it is one of those styles, battle mech styles, that you're like, okay, it's not like you have like 4 tanks, you're like, okay, I'm good. I can make a huge play here, my opponent is droning up. It is a very fast moving army, but low damage. Doesn't have that backbone like tanks, so it is hard to go into creep and actually end the game in this early part of the game, especially now that Starkiller is making a lot of roaches. He's just going to use it to set up the 3rd base. There's going to be no problems there for Dolan. He's going to be able to start a 4th base sometime soon. Hopefully he actually gets that up in this game. More factions going down. He's going to slip straight into reactor, so it's probably going to be Liberators. Mutas do come into the natural, get 2 SCVs, maybe even a 3rd one. Doesn't get the gas though. Cyclone wards them off. So still, these mutas are getting some good damage. Oh, this is a huge catch. A lot of the meters go down. There's only 2 left. I believe 8 have gone down. Yeah, 8 meters have gone down. That was a really nice catch from Dolan. These meters are going to be annoying. And it is a very different game from the one we saw last time. Even though it is the same army composition from Dolan, Starkiller took a lot of damage. And it's not going to be an easy transition into defending. Into just being able to defend and then counter attack like he did. But these roaches, nice, they catch a cyclone, but they can't actually fight this. Roaches are really slow. Mutas do come in though and start wailing away at the cyclones. But yeah, this army can just run away. Nice flank though. These roaches are going to try and get on top of them. A couple Hellions are going to go down. I think that it's going to be too much at home for Dolan. This Thor is going to be able to do a lot of damage now with the roach count being as low as it is. Not like in game 1. And these cyclones can just micro back. It's very hard to ever push up a ramp like this. It's Starkiller. You need creep. And if he was to go for a knight at some point, I mean at this point I think it would fail. I think Dolan has enough. He's going to hide the roaches and he's going to turn them into ravages. This could be perfect for Starkiller actually, because Dolan has to run back into roaches and ravages. That could be the worst possible thing for him. Might get caught out. He needs to be very careful here. Roaches are going to be meeting another army in the front. The Ravages do come in. All Dolan needs to do here is hold, and I think he'll be in a fantastic position. 56 workers, but this Thor is probably going to go down. The CC is not going to be able to finish. There's a cancel, but the Liberators do come in. Good positioning, so the Bowls, you'll have to use a lot of Bowls to get those Liberators down. They are down though. And the Roaches have been cleaning up on the top side. I think this is actually going to be a hold from Dolan. I think he's going to be able to get the second map of the series. These Ravages are now flanked. Cyclone's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Even the Hellions, when they start to get very low. Starkiller's army is routed. 14 more roaches are in the production table. This is going to give Dolan enough time to get more units out. And it's a 3-base with 56 workers against a 3-base Terran with 64. And he's going to be able to set up his fourth base without problem. I don't at this time, Dolan. Right, more ravages are going to be made. Overlord's going to go down. Okay, all Dolan needs to do is not throw units away like this. I think he wasn't expecting another attack from Starkiller, but again, when there's enough cycling with it, they can just micro back and just do so much damage to the roaches. Starkiller is just going to keep trying to be making roaches. He's going to be making some links. I really like that choice. But if Dolan does smell this coming, he could just retreat and turn these Hellions into Hellbats, and they'll fry those lings really, really quickly, and then they can turn back into their Hellion configuration and help with the damage. Or again, this is another position where Dolan just needs to hold. He's really starting to equal army supply. His fourth base is going to be able to go up. The Ravages are starting to go down. There's nothing really to kill these Liberators. The Bowls don't really connect. The Lings are going to come in though, but the Blue Flame just melts them really quickly. The backbone of this army is the Ravages, and they're basically all dead. I think that this is a hold. Starkiller is making another 15 roaches, but I think this time Dolan has done enough. If Starkiller had maybe denied this base again, it would have been a different story. Slavish Ravager is going to go down. This base is never going to get set up from Starkiller, while Dolan's is already on the way to being a plan. Oh, he's going for an orbital here. Nice Ling run by though, but there should be a couple Hellions to clean this up. Hellions will fry them extremely quickly. There's a Cyclone Coil out the map, but Dolan's army is just getting really big. His upgrades are starting to stack up. He's making 3 Cyclones and 4 Hellions at a time with 2 Liberators. This really is dire circumstances for Starkiller. I think he feels he has enough to maybe overwhelm Dolan, because he's just not making drones. He still feels like he's in a position where he has to do damage, and I would definitely agree with him, but it's getting to a point where I don't think there's a window for him to do damage. Even a 5th base is going to be set up, and I'm pretty sure this one's going to be a planetary. Dolan is mining so much more than Starkiller ever can. Starkiller is going to start running out of patches really soon. His economy is just going to stall. There is a 4th base on the way, but it's very, very late. He's got to try and make a play before this turn into a planetary, but he needs the Cyclones and Liberators on the map. These Roaches still have a lot of HP, so if they do get on top of this army, they could maybe make something happen. But there's a massive army supply lead so far for Starkiller, so maybe you can make this work. I think Dolan still has enough though. Maybe Starkiller has actually done it. Maybe he does have enough here. He obviously has to do some damage here. Liberators are done. He's going to be... And Dolan is going to be able to get a flank here. A lot of the roaches going down, which is the back... That's the backbone of this army, not really the Ravagers. And once these roaches go down, these Hellions and Cyclones can just get straight on top of the Ravagers. The Starkiller's army is starting to dwindle again. He has done a 27 worker damage. So this might be enough to actually warrant staying in the game. I think Dolan's biggest issue there, he just didn't have map vision. He didn't know where this was going to come from. If he had the Liberator set up before the Roaches got into a position and the Ravagers got into a position, it would have been very difficult for Starkiller to ever push. Dolan smells blood. There's a lot of Roaches and Ravagers being made. These drones, though, are very, 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 very out in the open. Oh, Hellions almost got down to bars. That would have been really bad, but more drones are going to go down. Starkiller's got a very low drone count as it is. He can't really afford to lose those for nothing. He's going to try and get on top of this army. Remember, these roaches are attacking this very mobile army off creep. 4 Liberators are on the production tab at the same time now. And Dolan is replenishing that drone count, and Starkiller is starting to run out of momentum. There is a bit of a mana mule? Maybe? Question mark? I think it was. Dolan is going to be able to take this game. GG is called. Dolan takes game number 6. Whew. Those games are the best to cast. Whoops. You guys heard about it earlier. Again, I have to give another shout out to Bubba Burger. This time, instead of telling you a elongated story, I can tell you a wonderful story about them. In the early 90s, a guy named Walter Bubba Eves had a mission to create a perfect and juicy burger. Bubba invented a unique production method that allows for the burger to be cooked from a frozen state and to still remain juicy and flavorful. Fast forward to today, Bubba Burger is the #1 branded frozen burger in the United States. They have different burger varieties and vegetarian options as well. As I said earlier, gotta come to America to try a Bubba Burger. I've heard great things about it. Okay, let me catch up with chat a little bit. Hey Jay Skippy. Yeah, it's not good for Starkiller. I like this caster's voice. Thank you. Good voice for casting. 10 out of 10. I appreciate it. It's fun listening to him and Lord of Terrans cast. Yeah, it's fun, but it's also very draining. I'd rather Soda cast. He's a very draining co-caster. Yeah, I think he wanted to block the Ravager from escaping. Yeah, but normally you would put more... I think you put more mules. Maybe you only had one available. Just for a sec, I thought the webcam was frozen. No, that's my picture for when I casted WSG, South African qualifiers. I was going to do webcam, but I know I might have to do other things for MVP at the same time. So I thought I would not have the camera on. That was a really fun game. I love BattleMech. It's my favorite TVC composition. It really does have a high momentum kind of game. Okay, just gonna get Starkiller in, and then we're ready to go. Dolan's ready to go. This is the start of the comeback, I believe. I think where Starkiller lost that, it seems silly to say that with it so early and then the game going so late, was because when he lost all those drones to that first 4 Hellions. He lost 13 and he was already on such a low worker count. And already only on 2 bases. His mules were delayed for so long. His tech path never got going, and he realized he'd probably have to all in at some point. And he did it with the roaches, and once you get enough Cyclones and Hellions, and then you also start going to something like Liberators, that shuts down the Roach Ravager very quickly. I'm actually surprised if I obviously don't know how late Dolan scouted the roaches, but if you scout the roaches, you can also switch to the Ferrari mech version with the banshees, and obviously banshees do incredibly well against roaches, especially in high numbers. But the liberators did do the job. I like that picture. It's a great one of you. Thank you. I'm not a huge fan because it shows my my bald head. You gotta love yourself, alright? You gotta. Okay, enough preaching. We have loaded. Oh, whoops, sorry. We have loaded into game. In the top left, representing Psystorm Gaming. It's got the momentum going. Can he come back? It is Dolan. And in the bottom right, representing Alpha X. Still one game away. He is on match point. It is Starkiller. Okay. Oh. Ooh. What? What is happening? Okay, Starkiller. It's going to be scouted though. Okay, Dolan sees it. There's no pool yet. Pool's going to probably go down now. Okay, no, Starkiller. What is Starkiller doing? I think it's just to. It could be to metagame Dolan. Because there's no pool, so it's not like he's going to be able to make queens or anything out of that really matters. So they're just going to force an SCV pool. And he's just going to take a hatchery behind it. And pool is going to come down. Okay, this is mind games from Starkiller. He's obviously not going to try to do any damage with this. He's going to just try to do indirect damage. I mean, this is a huge SCV pool. I mean, I think if you're Dolan, you have to. You still haven't scouted across the map what Starkiller's doing. Like, there could be a pool. There could be roaches heading to across the map. There could be drones ready to build spine crawlers. You really do have to pull the workers. Oh, gets the eBay down. Even more annoying. But it's not going to be that. Oh, he saves the drone. Yeah, that drone shouldn't have died. Obviously, Dolan just clicks on it with SCs and it doesn't get into position. Drone is going to go down now. And that obviously Proxy actually bought enough time for some lings to come out, so the Reaper shouldn't do much counter damage. Really good start for Starkiller. Not like game ending for Dolan, but it's definitely put him in a position he doesn't really want to be. He's going to probably switch into Hellions. I think you have to. You have to switch into Hellions like now more than any of the other games where you went the Marine tank. Because you honestly could, Starkiller could stop making drones at any time and just all in with, and I think that's possibly what he's going to try and do. So I think it's very lucky that Dolan's making Hellions, because if he wasn't, very bad. It's not necessarily going to be some kind of link flight. Obviously, Starkiller can just drone up with no gas, but it is something he likes to go for. He likes to pull off gas and then just make a whole bunch of lings and try and overwhelm the low ground, so he can force a lift up, so he gets his leg up in the mid to late game. Okay, let's see. I'm interested to see. It's obviously going to see in the next about 20 seconds. We'll see if Starkiller makes more drones or more lings. It looks like just drones, so it is not going to be a link flight. I think he was probably trying to scout. He wanted to see what the Terran is going for. If you see, oh, he's only made 2 Hellions. Okay, interesting. But it's still enough to ward off a link flight. This Overlord is going to go down. This Overlord probably will as well to the Liberator. There's going to be a tank coming out quite soon, I would imagine. There we go, tank on the way. So I think Dolan probably tries to go for some kind of 2-base play like he did in the first couple games. So it's going to be very different with the Liberator. And there's going to be roaches and stuff for Starkiller, and that's exactly what you need to deal with this. I mean, you definitely could do it with lings as well, because there's only a couple Hellions and only a few Marines. But the roaches do give you an ability to go Ravagers, which will help so much with the Liberators. Hey, Sniper. Liberator is going to loop around on this left side. Okay, it's going to be Stim. This is the first time we've seen Bio from Dolan in this series. Interesting. I think he probably would have battered it out in some of the games where he lost super early. This is just going to be straight up Bio. The Liberator is going to come in. starkiller is going to have to pull drones. He is going to be able to get the Queen around. There is no Spore, so all this lava is going to be taken out, and he's going to be able to get out. But starkiller at the same time, he's just rallying lings and roaches. We'll go see that now. I just want to see if this Liberator does in fact go down. I think it will. This Queen should be able to shut it down. I think we probably a point where we need to go across the map. I mean, Dolan does have a wall. He does see this coming. He does have a wall. He does have 2 bunkers up. Stark is making ravages, and he can bust this wall down very quickly. If these lings get on top of this tank before the bunkers are really set up, this probably ends. And there's not that much to put in these bunkers anyway. Okay, this is starkiller going all in here. Can he finish this game? He's going to try and bow down the bunker on the front. I think he's going to get it. He's going to allow the lings and roaches just to walk into this. They are taking a lot of damage from the first 2 tanks. The first tank is going to go down. The second one probably to the bows as well. There's just not enough units for Dolan's down army supply. I think starkiller is done. This is 84 army supply. Supply to 34. Liquidity supply. Starkiller is just marching up ramp. He's going to start killing some of the Marines. The last Hellion. And I think starkiller is done. He's going to be Alpha Pro Series number 68 champion. Last tank is going to go down. Oh, there's no tank for so long. Bases are being lifted. Dolan is just trying to hold. He knows if he is able to hold it, there's maybe a chance here. But I don't think it is. I think he's going to be... all these units are going to be going down. GG's called. starkiller takes the series and wins Alpha Pro Series number 68. Whew. GG. Sorry guys, I just need to do a little bit of admin work before I do outros. Okay. Okay. That was a really fun series. Really fun series. Dolan definitely thought, but it's just such a difficult play to play in a best of 9 series because starkiller has so many builds he can go for, and Zerg do have the ability to do that. And what makes him so scary is because he sells a muta build like a roach build, if you know what I'm trying to say. They both look very similar. You have to do so much scouting just to be able to see it. Yeah, GG's to Dolan. He really gave a good game, but congratulations to starkiller. He is the champion, and yeah, that is going to be the stream. But in 20 minutes, it will be Alpha X MVP on Twitch. On the Alpha X channel, you're going to be seeing some starkiller again. You're going to be seeing some the new guys, Rods and Art. You're going to be seeing Astria, who's a WCS Winter top 6 participant. You're going to see all the size guys, Paco Mike, Light, all the amazing people, Uzi Kurti. So, and I will be hanging around and chat and adminning that as well. I believe Swagger is going to be casting that. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in 20 minutes.